Good morning, guys. Good morning. Adventures with John here, bringing you guys another video today. And today we are back at the Kern River. So a little bit different today. If you guys have not seen a couple of my recent videos, I did a little half-day trip up to the Kern River. And then like maybe a few days after that, I had such a good time that I went back and I actually camped for a night and we did like a little catch, clean, cook. So definitely really fun. I always have a really good time when I'm up here fishing. I always have a lot of luck. But I have never been this far up the river. So kind of what today's goal is going to be, it's more going to be me exploring the river in spots that I've never been to before. And if you guys have seen those other videos that I did, you guys know that I explained growing up, I came down to the Kern River a lot and we did lots of fishing up here, but I have never been this far up the river. So we made it up to the bridge. If what I know is correct from what I've heard from other people and what I've looked up, I'm pretty sure from this bridge going up, it is barbless hooks and artificial lures only, and there is a trail on the other side of the river that goes up pretty far up the river. I think at least a few miles, or that's what it looked like on Google Maps. So I think what we're gonna try, usually I try to get out here earlier. I woke up a little bit late, but it's still pretty early right now. It's not even 7 o'clock yet. It's like 6:45 a.m. So still pretty early. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to get all my gear. I think I'm going to go below the bridge first because I do have some setups on my poles already that is set up for like drifting salmon eggs and stuff. And I think I have a jig on the other pole, which we can definitely use above the bridge. But I think first we're going to go below the bridge and see if there's any good spots right below the bridge where I can still drift some salmon eggs and see if we can find any trout like that. If we're not having any luck, we have a few options. We can either keep working our way down the river and try to find some good honey holes, or I can, you know, squish down the barbs on my hooks and just use lures and jigs and, you know, soft plastics and stuff, and instead go up the trail and follow the river up. So there's a lot we can do today. If I need to, I can be out here all day just kind of exploring new little spots and stuff. My Friday was yesterday, so I'm on my weekend from work. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty good time today. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me. We're gonna be below the bridge, drifting some salmon eggs, maybe try that jig. I say it's a jig, but it's like a drop shot set up with like a mouse tail on it. But we've got lots of tackle with us. We've got pretty much all day. And yeah, I'm gonna get all geared up, get everything I need, and we're gonna see you guys down at the water. Okay, so there was a sign that had the regulations over there by the parking, and I read it. So it did not say anything about barbless hooks, but it did say that above the bridge is artificial lures only. So if we're fishing above the bridge today, we'll make sure we're only using like lures, jigs, you know, just artificial stuff. And if we pick any spots below the bridge, then we can actually drift some salmon eggs and kind of see what's going on here. Just looking at some of these spots that are even close to the parking lot, it does look like, you know, it looks super fishy to me. Looks like there's definitely going to be some fish hiding out here. But at the same time, I do know that with a parking lot right there and easy access down to the water, I'm sure this spot gets pressured quite a bit. So if we're not having any luck, like in the first hour or two, what we could do is we can start walking down that river trail and, you know, walk like half a mile to a mile up the river. And up there, I'm sure there's still, you know, good trout hanging out, and it's probably a lot less pressured up there. So we'll get started down here and we'll just kind of see what happens. If we need to, we'll work our way up the river. But yeah, I think this spot looks pretty good, at least to try out. I'm gonna walk a little bit below the bridge just for a little bit, just so that I can drift some salmon eggs. And then if we don't have any luck doing that, we'll switch to just artificial stuff and we'll just kind of fish and make our way up the river. All right, we made it. We're literally right underneath the bridge. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. Unless I go further down, at least right here, I'm not seeing a whole lot of spots where I can get my pole in the water, but we're literally right underneath the bridge. So it's kind of 50-50 on the regulations in this exact spot that I'm at. But we have a split shot right here down to a double-sided swivel. And then we have about maybe 15 or 16 inches of fluorocarbon leader line down to a little size 10 hook. So what we're gonna try first, at least in this spot, is I'm gonna get some salmon eggs on. I'm gonna throw the salmon eggs upriver a little bit. I'm gonna let those salmon eggs drift down, and we're gonna see if we can't entice any bites that way. We're probably a good like 5 or 6 feet above the surface of the water. So I do have my net with me, but it's not like a long extended net. So if we end up hooking a fish, we're just gonna have to risk it for the biscuit and try to lift it up out of the water into the net. If it gets off, it gets off. I do see on the other side of the river right there, the river trail actually goes down to the bank, and there's like a little shore spot. So we could always, if we lose like 2 or 3 fish because we can't get them in the net, we could always flop over to the other side where we can actually net them from the shore. But yeah, we're gonna get on some salmon eggs, let them drift right here. Oh, a fish just jumped right here next to me, literally right in front of me. It didn't look like a very big one, but that's a pretty good sign that there's trout in this area. So let's get some salmon eggs out there, drift them down, and see if we can't get some of these fish. All right, guys, well, I didn't move up very far, maybe like 40, 50 feet just to the other side of the bridge. So since we're on the upper side of the bridge, we're having to use artificial lures only. Oh, there's a lot of things. Oh, I think the birds are the birds hitting the water down there? Yeah, the birds are scooping down into the water. At first I thought it was fish, but they probably have their nests underneath this bridge. So that's why there's so many birds right here. But there is a nice deep pocket right here. So I think I'm gonna try a few lures in this pocket before I decide if I'm gonna walk up the river or not. Right now, I switched it up. So we got artificial lure on here. I like these ones. I got these ones specifically for trout, and I have a few of them that are different trout designs. I'm gonna try it with the swivel. I'm not too sure if the swivel is gonna scare off the fish or not, but it just makes it easier for me to switch out lures instead of just tying a new one on every single time. So we'll try it out like this for a little bit, see if we can't get some bites, try a few different lures, maybe a jig or two, because I do think this pocket could hold some fish. It just depends on how much these fish are pressured. So I'm gonna hike down these rocks very carefully. You guys want to be very careful at the Kern River. There was a gentleman just recently who was out fishing with his son and his dog, and I guess his dog fell into the water, and the dad went to grab the leash, and the dad ended up falling into the river, and he drowned, and they found his body like days later. So the Kern River is a very dangerous river for people who do not come here all the time and do not know. So just make sure if you guys are coming down to the Kern River, you guys are very careful around the river, because it may look calm on the surface, but those rip currents that are underneath can get really, really bad. So let's throw this lure around a little bit. This lure is a little bit bigger, but also in order for you to keep fish in this area, first of all, it's a 2 limit. So it's a 2 per person per day limit, and the trout have to be above 14 inches. So you can't keep any little dinks out of here, you know. I mean, 14 inches is not a massive trout, but the trout do have to be 14 inches for you to keep them out of this part of the river, and you're only allowed 2. All right, well, I did about maybe 15, 20 casts with this lure and didn't get any bites, didn't see any fish following it. So I'm gonna switch over to a rainbow trout colored Panther Martin spinner and throw that around a little bit and see if they want to bite on that. If not, then we'll probably start working our way up the river. There is a few people that are out here fishing. I'm assuming there's somewhere along that trail that goes up the river. So if we end up moving up the river, we will probably walk past all of those people and try a little bit further up the river. I think that one's good. All right, yeah, got my rainbow trout colored Panther Martin spinner. I've got a bunch of different colors of spinners. I've got all kinds of jigs and stuff. Pretty much this whole, I got spoons if I need spoons. I even have some like salmon egg flies. Probably won't use them. I don't have my fly rod, and I don't feel like setting up flies on a spinning rod right now, but I got like tube jigs, normal jigs. I even got stuff like little crickets and, you know, little pre-weighted, like I love this one right here, this little pre-weighted chartreuse jig. But yeah, we definitely got some options and some stuff we can try. This isn't even all my tackle. I got another one of these in my box that has some more stuff in it. So yeah, let's get this Panther Martin on there and let's see if these fish want to bite. Alrighty guys, we weren't getting any look at that spot, so we decided we're gonna walk up the river. Look at this, guys, just absolutely beautiful. Just the power of some of these rivermans, it's absolutely crazy. Oh, my rod's getting stuck. I don't know how this trail is. I mean, it doesn't look too bad right now, but I want to go quite a bit of a ways up this trail, just because I know the further I go up this trail, the less and less fished that area has been. I've already passed by a bunch of really good looking spots, but I think we're just going to keep hiking our way up until, you know, looks like a lot of people haven't been fishing there recently, and then we'll try at one of those spots. All right guys, well, we made it to our first spot walking down the trail. We probably came up the river maybe about a half a mile or so. Definitely took us a little bit, and the camera does not do it justice, but the trail is up there. I guess you can see a guy walking along the trail up there. It was a really steep climb to come down, lots of loose rocks and stuff. Make sure if you guys are fishing this area, you are very careful. Like I said before, a lot of these spots along this trail, it's pretty treacherous to get down to the water. But if you're adventurous and you want to come up here looking for some big fish, definitely go for it. But this is probably the best looking spot that I've seen going up the trail so far. So even though it was pretty treacherous to come down, I decided just to, you know, hike down here and, you know, get some lures in there, get some jigs. I do have some flies that look like salmon eggs, but they're not real salmon eggs, they're just dry flies. So I could try some of those as well. And yeah, I mean, if there's gonna be any fish hanging out, I could imagine there'd be some hiding in this hole. So let's see if my gut is right. All right guys, well, switched it up. I may need to end up changing out this leader line because I cut off my other hook that I was using for salmon eggs below the bridge and put this this dry fly. It's supposed to mimic a salmon egg, and it's supposed to be the color of a salmon egg, but it is not a salmon egg, real one, fake one. It is a artificial fly. This is, you know, meant for a fly rod. I've actually caught a good amount of fish on my fly rod in Colorado using these same exact flies. So I'm gonna just do what I usually would do with salmon eggs and throw it up river with a split shot weight on it, and just let this drift down the river. So we can kind of get around that, you know, using salmon eggs, because this is technically a dry fly, it's artificial lure. So yeah, I'm gonna throw this around for a little bit. If I don't get any bites, I'll throw the Panther Martin for a few casts, and we might fish this spot for maybe an hour or so. I'll make my way up and down these rocks so that I can get this whole stretch right here. And of course, if we're not getting any bites, then we'll hike back up to the trail and we'll go up a little bit further to a new spot. Alrighty fellas, well, we ended up moving spots. I was really surprised. I tried a couple different lures. I tried drifting that salmon egg. I tried a whole bunch of stuff down at that other spot, and that spot looked really good, and it looked like there would have been a lot of trout, or at least a couple of big trout hanging out there. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on in that spot, if it was something I was doing, wasn't using the right stuff, or maybe there just wasn't any fish there like I thought. So we ended up moving spots. We walked down a little bit, maybe another quarter mile or so, and this stretch right here, to me anyways, just like the other spot, looks like it could be holding some trout. So I'm gonna try my lures and drift in the dry fly salmon egg around a little bit and see what we can do. So let's get our poles in the water. Oh guys, I don't know if I was recording. I think I may have been recording already before that, and when I hooked that fish, I may have hit the button to stop recording. But we finally caught our first one of the day. It was just a little rainbow, not even a keeper, but we've gotten a few bites in a couple of different spots in this hole, and we've caught one so far. So that's at least a good sign. At least we know that there's fish in this hole. So we're just gonna chill out here for a little bit and keep drifting our dry fly, and hopefully we can pull out a couple more. It would be nice to get a keeper or two out of this spot, and I've got my little measuring tape, so if I need to measure them to make sure they're over 14 inches, we can definitely do that. Alright guys, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see it because I'm sitting down. Actually, here, I'll stand up so that you guys can hopefully kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to try this one kind of in this current right in front of me. So I'm just going to throw it up that current a little bit. I'm going to reel it in, try to keep the line as tight as possible without keeping it super tight. And you want to make sure that you're able to feel those bites if you get any. And basically all I'm doing is turning my body with my line as my line drifts down, and I'm just letting my line drift down with the current right now. So basically what that's doing is of course I have a dry fly on. It's a little pink ball. Of course it's supposed to look like a salmon egg, but it is a dry fly. And basically what that's doing is whenever you have just like a little drop shot on it and you're just letting that drift through the current, to the fish it looks natural, especially if you're leaving a little bit of line. Like, you don't want to put too much weight, you don't want to make your line too tight to where it's drifting a little bit weird. You want that bait to be drifting naturally, just flowing with the current. And as it does that to these fish, it just looks like a piece of bait or a piece of food or something just naturally floating down. So basically that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying, especially these fish, I think these fish up here, I don't think they stock them this far up the river. So I'm pretty sure, you guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure any of the trout that we're gonna pull out up here are probably gonna be wild trout, unless there's trout that just like made their way up the river, which, you know, I don't know if they can do that with some of the falls and stuff. But basically that's what we're doing. We want to try to trick these fish. These fish are a little bit smarter than your just normal stocked rainbow. Even for stocked rainbow, this method right here works perfect. But especially when you're fishing with these fish that are a little bit more finicky, they're a little bit more hesitant to bite. You want to try to do whatever you can to make whatever lure, whatever you're using, fly, lure, whatever, you want to try to make it look as natural as possible to these fish. So that's all we're doing right now. We're just throwing it in, we're letting it drift, and we're just waiting for those bites. And once you feel that bite, you give it a little bit of a hook set. This isn't bass fishing, guys, cat fishing. You don't want to freaking turn around and run backwards with it like you're hooking a shark, or, you know, pull on it as hard as you can. You don't want to do that with trout. You're probably just going to pull it straight out of their mouth, honestly. And even if you do hook the fish, you can actually end up injuring the fish. So if it's not a keeper, or if you're just doing catch and release, you don't want to be injuring these fish. Of course, if you're going to keep it, if it's a keeper over 14 inches and you're going to keep it, I mean, I guess do whatever you want at that point, bleed them out, whatever, if you're going to get them on the stringer. But we try to respect these fish and, you know, try to deal with them as little as possible. So I like to go with trout fishing. At least I try to go with the softer hook sets. It still works, you still catch fish, but it does kind of minimize injuries to the fish. So we're just going to keep doing this. We're just going to keep casting it in, letting it drift. We've already caught one little trout in this spot. I still don't know if I got it on the GoPro or not. I don't know if the GoPro turned off or if the GoPro was already recording, because I hit the button and I heard the beeps. So that's the only thing I could think of, is either it turned off partway through, or I was already recording for some reason and just never turned the recording off. So when I hooked that fish and hit record, it probably would have just turned the recording off anyway. But we have caught one trout so far, and we've gotten a few other bites. So I think this is a pretty decent spot. We're gonna fish here. If drifting the dry fly with a split shot is gonna work, I'm just gonna keep using this. If I go, you know, maybe 20-30 more casts without getting any bites, maybe I might change it up. I've got different colors. I've got this same dry fly in different colors, and we've also got some lures and some jigs and stuff that we can try if the fish start catching on that this isn't real. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep throwing it. I might end up walking up and down just this little stretch right here, and trying some of these little holes by these rocks and seeing if we can't entice a fish. I might give this little spot in front of me a kind of a little bit of a break, because we have gotten quite a few bites in this spot and we have caught one fish already. So these fish may be a little bit pressured right now. They may be a little finicky, and that could be why I'm not getting bites on most of my casts like I was getting before. So I think I'm gonna walk down just a little bit to where that big rock is sticking out. I'm gonna do a couple casts down there, I can walk up a little bit to where this rock is and do a couple of casts up there in the current. I'm gonna give this spot a little bit of a break, but we're gonna come back and see if after we give those fish a little bit of a rest, if they're gonna start biting again. Oh, we got one, fellas. Boy, oh, he's going on the rocks. Oh, he spit it. No. Dang it, guys. You know what? I should be casting from like right here instead of sitting on that big rock, because both of the fish that we've hooked today, I was sitting up on this big rock and hooked them, and while trying to keep the line tight, I'm trying to climb down these rocks to get to the net so I can net them by the water. And both times that's happened, they have spit the hook before I could get them in the net. Dang it. Well, at least we know that they're still here and we know that they're still biting. All right, guys, well, we're back up on the trail right now. We didn't have any luck at that last spot that we were at. So I parked at the bridge. We took the hiking trail. I want to say we tried like 4 or 5 different spots up along this trail that all looked pretty good. And we only ended up catching 2 trout at one of the spots that we were at. And even then, they were both pretty small. Neither of them were keepers. And we didn't even get either of them in the net. They both spit the hook. So honestly, I think the best thing we can do right now is go ahead and hike back to the truck, because I want to say we have probably close to a mile or so to get back to the parking lot by the bridge. And then I'm gonna sit in the truck for a little bit in the AC and cool off, get a nice cold water from the ice chest. And after that, we are going to drive down below the bridge and start pulling over at some pull-offs and start fishing some of those spots below the bridge. I feel like we're gonna have better luck doing that. And you know, if I want to start catching fish today and I want to try to get some good sized trout on the stringer to take home, we're gonna have to switch it up a little bit. So we're gonna make our way back through this trail all the way back to the truck and see if we can go find some of these trout. I know they're in here. It's just, of course, these trout are wild. They're going to be a lot more finicky. They're going to be a lot more picky with the lures and baits that they bite. So maybe I just wasn't throwing the right thing today. Again, I only have limited lures and, you know, jigs and stuff like that that I can use. But at least I know down below the bridge we can actually use salmon eggs and some floating bait and stuff. So I'm gonna go back to what I know I'm best at. And also those trout down there, a lot of them are stocks trout, so they're gonna be a lot easier to catch. But I wanted to challenge myself a little bit, get out there today to some parts of the river I haven't been before. How's it going? Pretty good. Well, that was a little awkward. I was talking to you guys and some guy came down the trail and started talking to me. He didn't say anything about me pointing a camera in my face and talking, but I'm sure it was kind of awkward to him as it was to me. All right, we finally made it back to the truck. We are making our way back down the river. I probably need to drive down closer to Kernville, at least until I get some service on my phone, just so that I can text or call my wife, you know, give her a little half-day update. It's about 12:45 right now, so it's almost 1. Yeah, I'm gonna drive down, get some service, give my wife an update so, you know, she knows I didn't fall off a rock into the river. And then we're gonna find some other spots to go and fish. I want to try and find spots that I haven't been to before. I know if I drive down to like headquarters campground, or, you know, drive down to the pump house, like down there in that area that's just above Kernville, I know that I'm gonna catch trout down there, because every time I go there I always pull out a bunch of trout. So I'm still gonna try to see if I can't find some spots I haven't been to before, but you know, spots that are still gonna be good fishing. I want to try to find some new honey holes down here that I can come back to in the future. So yeah, we're just gonna make our way down the river and see what happens. Guys, I'm gonna have to hand reel this guy. I got some sort of bird's nest. I don't even know how it happened. But we also got a fish at the same time. So I'm literally hand lining in this fish. And then I'll have to figure out the bird's nest later, but I don't know what the heck happened. Well, we got a rainbow, but I'm not sure what the heck happened to my pole. That's crazy. Ended up hand lining this guy. Well, that's a first for me on the river, getting my line all tangled and having to what the heck? Oh, that guy was literally too small for the freaking net. Or is there a hole in it? Somehow that guy squeezed through the net. Okay, well, that guy, he's not a massive one, but he also swallowed the hook and he's already bleeding pretty good, so we're just gonna have to get this guy on the stringer regardless. I guess there's our first keeper. Not the biggest trout, but we're gonna have to keep him just because. That was literally, actually I think that was my first cast at this spot. This is a spot I've been to a lot. I know I said I wanted to just do new spots hey dude. I know I said I just wanted to do new spots today, but we weren't having a lot of luck. So I came down here to the pump house. This is a little bit down from the pump house, but I always catch fish when I'm here. So I decided to come down to, I call this my rock because I always catch a bunch of fish from this rock. First cast, literally. There you go, boys. We're on again. Trout number 2. This one looks decent too. Hopefully this guy won't just go through my net like the other one did. Oh yeah, this one's a little bit better. There we go, fellas. See, that's why I love coming down here. I know if I come down here to the pump house, to my little rock, I know I'm gonna catch fish. The only thing is though, I brought the wrong net. These guys, I mean, I guess if it's a really big fish it won't, but these guys are just kind of swimming through my net. Really, dude? I mean, we're keeping this guy anyway, but see, this one's better. These are the ones that I want to keep from the river. And he like swallowed that thing too. Hey bro, hey bro, hey bro. Chill. Alright, got the hook out. Here we go, guys. Second rainbow that we've actually brought in today. Jeez. Should be number 4, but that was literally after I got that tangle out. I had to cut my line and retie. Literally first cast after that. Sweet. There we go, fellas. He's definitely bigger than that first one we kept. The only reason why I kept that first one was only because he swallowed the hook and he was already bleeding a bunch by the time I got the hook off. So sweet. Let's see something. I'm gonna see if I can just get a couple salmon eggs back on, and let's see if I can do that first cast again. Literally both of those fish were first cast in this area off this rock right here. both of those fish. So literally we came to this rock and we got 2 casts, 2 trout. So it's actually pretty good. Oh, my line is frayed a little bit, but I literally just tied this leader on, and I don't want to tie another leader on right now. We'll see if she'll survive. If we catch another fish and the leader breaks off, it will be my fault because I didn't retie it. It's not frayed too bad, so it'd have to be a pretty big trout in order to break this off. Here we go. We're gonna get 2 salmon eggs. Right now I'm just using these normal pink salmon eggs, and get 2 salmon eggs on just like that. And I'm gonna get out there and cast in the same exact spot. Oh gosh, look at me, guys. It's because it's windy right now, so I'm like getting all these tangles super easily. There we go. All right, let me see. Still good on the GoPro. Yeah, we got 45%. So let's see. Now that one's not as far, but let's see. Let's see if we can go back to back casts right here. Oh, already got a bite. Oh, you see that? We already had a bite. He's still nibbling. I need him to take it though. Ah, dang it, did he get my salmon eggs? No, he didn't. Okay, guys. We didn't do back to back casts, but I know what's coming. Watch, we're gonna get him this cast. These fish, I don't know what it is, but there's like some sort of little hole or something right here. These fish love to hang out in this spot. I always catch a bunch of trout in this spot. Look at, now I'm jinxing myself because I told you guys I went back to back casts. Now I'm getting jinxed. We're on again, boys, just like that. Are we swimming at me? There you go. There he is. Let's go, boys. Trout number 3 right there. Oh, that was a perfect hook set. We got him right in the top of the mouth. It's got like a weird, bro. That's the second one that's done that. He's got like a weird little spot on him. I don't know what that is. It's only on one side, but all right, guys. Well, it's the 3rd one of the day. I'm also gonna get him on the stringer. Whenever I'm filleting this guy, if his meat looks weird or something, like due to whatever that little spot is, I'll just throw him outside for the coyotes. We got a pack of coyotes that literally lives like, seems like they live right on my property because we hear them like every night right next to the house. So this guy seems a little weird with his meat or something. We will just put him out for the coyotes. Well, here we go, guys. We got 3 trout on the stringer. That's pretty good. And we're on again, boys. Here's number 4. Guys, it's literally like, what, not even 4 in the afternoon, and these guys are still hitting like crazy. Oh, this guy's a little bit smaller. Same thing with this guy, hooked him right at the top of the mouth. There's a kid that's fishing like maybe 100 feet down the bank from me, and he just he was fishing and watched me catch all those fish within like, you know, less than 20 minutes. I caught 4. So I was trying to talk to him. He said he's using a spinner, but I was trying to give him some pointers and telling him how I set up mine to drift the salmon eggs. And then right after I told him that, he disappeared. So looks like he might be going to check his tackle box or ask his dad or whatever, see if they've got salmon eggs. But you know, I've caught some trout down there too. He was pretty close to that big boulder down there, and I've caught a couple trout on salmon eggs down there too. Because trust me, I've been using the spinner a lot today. I've seen a couple follow it when I was above the bridge because we were only using artificial, so I was using the lure a lot up there. But I didn't get any bites on the spinner today. Pretty much everything that we've caught has been on salmon eggs, even the 2 that we caught but didn't get in the net above the bridge up there. That was a dry fly salmon egg. So pretty much all the fish that we've caught or gotten bites on today has all been with salmon eggs or a dry fly salmon egg. All right, I'll show you guys how it's done right here. I got my split shot weight up top. I've got maybe like 1.5 foot or closer to 2 feet of leader line down to a size 10 hook, and I've just got a couple salmon eggs on there. And literally all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast upstream just like that, right to the middle of the river, and we're just gonna let it drift. Come on guys, this guy feels like a better one. This will be number 5 for the stringer if I can get him in. This might be the best one of the day. The best one for the stringer. Oh yeah, but I need to get him right here. Oh, I forgot I don't have my waders on. Come on, I need you to tire out, dude. No, he came off. I knew that was gonna happen, guys. Oh my gosh. No, I wish I had my waders on because I can kind of like get down there a little bit, but right now I have to scoop down with the net and it's hard to maneuver the net. Dude, when he first took that thing, he was taking out drag, and none of the other fish took out any drag, and I didn't touch my drag, so that definitely would have been the biggest fish on the stringer. Oh dang it, guys. That was a nice one. Dang it. No, that would have been number 5. My mission would have been complete to go home with 5 on the stringer. I mean, I'm sure we'll still go home with 5 on the stringer, but I wanted that guy. That guy would have had the most meat on him. Dang it. All right, well, all we can do is cut our losses and put some more salmon eggs on and get back out there. Let's see if we can go back-to-back casts right here. That'd be pretty cool, huh? I doubt that same one's not gonna bite again because I just freaked him out. Dang it, I was trying to wait for him to get tired and he was doing his head shakes and then he just spit it. So I must have not hooked him very well. Since I'm gonna be keeping these guys, I honestly don't care if they, you know, totally take it and swallow it. That's honestly better because then they're not gonna come off the hook. Dang it, guys. That was a nice trout. All right, well, let's see if we can get another one. So cool, guys. I wish I would have had the GoPro going. I was retrieving my salmon eggs and he was chasing it like a lure. So all I did was slow down my retrieve a little bit and he came back and smacked it. Woo. Oh, he came off. Oh no. All right. We'll trap this guy real quick. He's not a very big, oh my gosh. They're so squirmy with their freaking, usually I would wet my hand, if I'm gonna be returning them, usually I'd wet my hands and I'd be real gentle with them. But since I'm keeping these guys, there's no really need for me to do that. See, that's why I like helping people out, guys. That kid over there, I guess his dad set him up with some salmon eggs so that he can drift some salmon eggs, and he just pulled out a nice trout. Definitely quite a bit bigger than any of the ones I've caught today. Makes me feel good, you know, giving them a little tip about what's working, and they put it on, and sure enough, he got himself a nice big trout. I'm sure that kid's gonna remember that. Got him, boys. Keep that head down. Yes. All right, fellas. Number 6 on the spot. Remind me, guys, not to take this net back to the river. These little stalker trout do not fit well in this net. All right, guys, sweet. There is number 6 of this spot. We're on, boys. That same spot over there, that kid stepped off at his. Oh, this is a good one. Come on. hope this guy doesn't spit the hook. This is a good one. This might be the best one of the day. Maybe. It will be close if I can get him in. No, come on. Yes! Let's go, fellas. Let's go. Boys, this one was a jumper. Yeah, but this one's just a smaller one though. Not even one that we worry about getting on the stringer. We'll see. I don't know. He's bleeding quite a bit. Oh, dang. Okay. He took off real fast. Dang, dude. Yeah, we've already got some nice trout on the stringer. That was number 8, and it is 5'10". I said I would cut myself off at 5, but you know your boy, if your boy's catching fish, it's hard for him to just stop and go home. All right, boys, run another one. This one feels decent too. Let's go, fellas. That was like the 3rd cast. Oh, there we go, fellas. There's another nice one. There's number 9. Boys, feels like another good one. Oh, he's swimming at us. Man, they love doing those head shakes. Trout and their dang head shakes. There we go, fellas. Another nice one. Okay, now we're done for the day. There's number 10. All right. Let's see, where'd I hook that guy? And he almost swallowed it. There we go, fellas. Well, there's trout number 10, and that's the best one that we caught today. All right, guys. Well, it is time for us to get all of our gear together and head back to the truck. Literally from this rock that I'm standing on, the pump house is up there, that big boulder's down there. For reference, for anyone who wants to come, every single time I come to this spot, I always catch a lot of trout. Literally 10 trout from this rock within like maybe 2 hours, I want to say. And for the middle of the afternoon, that is not bad at all. Here in these rivers, the trout pretty much bite all day, so long as you're, you know, using the right bait. All right, guys, well, here is our 5 trout of the day. I think this one's the biggest right here. This was that last one that we caught, that 10th one. So I looked it up to double check, and down here in the lower part of the Kern River, it is a 5 limit per day, but you can have 10 in your possession. So I guess that means if you go camping and you catch 5 one day and 5 the next day, then you're fine. But since we're just out here for the day, we can only keep 5. So that's exactly what we did. We've got 5 beautiful rainbow trout here. So I'm going to get them in the ice chest and take these guys home. I'm not going to fillet them until I get home, just because it's going to be easier and I'm not camping or anything. So I'm gonna get those guys in the cooler, but first I'm gonna grab myself a Dr. Pepper. It's kind of like a reward, you know? All right, guys, and get these 5 trout in here. I mean, it's still cold and there's still a bunch of ice. There's a bunch of water too, but I know they're gonna be ice cold until I get home, so it's gonna keep those fish nice and fresh. I also took them down to the water, and for any of the trout who weren't dead yet, I think only one was dead, and there was 4 of them that were still alive. So I went ahead and I cut their gills and I bled them out and, you know, washed them off in the water to get all that blood out. It's also going to help keep that that meat nice and fresh. A nice ice cold Dr. Pepper for the drive home. I'm not a huge fan of Dr. Pepper. I'm definitely more of a Coke guy, but I didn't have any more Coke left in the ice chest, so Dr. Pepper it is. One of my wife's sodas. Well, guys, that is going to be the end of our little fishing trip today kind of thing. We didn't do any camping today. We just came out to do some fishing. So really the ultimate goal of today was to come out and go to the upper Kern River, especially above that bridge. I always forget the name of the bridge. I'm sure you guys will know exactly the bridge that I'm talking about, but it's the bridge where below the bridge you can use, like, you know, pretty much everything, live bait, bait, whatever, but then above the bridge you can only keep 2 trout per day. They have to be over 14 inches, and you can't use any bait or anything like that. It's all artificial lures or flies only. So that was the ultimate goal for today, was to go up and park at the bridge. There's a really long and actually pretty strenuous hiking trail that goes up along the river above that bridge. So we took that trail up. I think we fished like 5 spots or so, 5 or 6 different spots on above the bridge. And we probably got maybe a little more than a mile down that hiking trail, and we were just kind of trying different spots that I thought looked good along the way. We ended up catching, quote unquote, catching 2 trout above the bridge while we were up there. They were both smaller, and they both ended up spitting the hook before I even got them in the net. So I decided I was gonna come down, fish some of these spots below the bridge. So I did that for a few hours. I didn't catch anything. I didn't get any bites. It wasn't looking too good on that front. So I was like, well, I know exactly where I can catch some trout, you know, down by the pump house. It's like one of my favorite spots to go. So I came down to the pump house to end it out, stood on my little rock that I'm always standing on, and we managed to catch 10 trout just chilling on that rock. So we got 5 on the stringer and the ice chest in the bag. That's going to be dinner for when we get home. All in all, I feel like it was a pretty good day. If you guys have any suggestions for me, or you guys want to see me go fish a certain body of water or a certain river, anything like that, or if you guys want me to come back to the Kern River and walk even further up